Woke up this morning with the sunrise in my eyes, just like a new day, a breath of fresh air in my life. I don't know how, don't know why, but I'll be toasting all my life.
Say hello to Pig 2, the comedy wheels that featured in my recent update video. Spoiler alert, what follows in this video may be ever so slightly biased. You see this? This is going to be a feature of this video. All down to this thing. I cannot help. Show me one of these and I just smile. Or giggle is probably the better phrase. This is my new Tarmac Trails car. This, along with the Scrambler, is the new team, and that's Pig Can, and this is Pig 2. So in best Thunderbirds tradition, we'll save the planet with beautiful videos of great roads and yeah, and me chatting a bit. Right, what have we got here? Well, one Great Dane, obviously. Well, he's bigger than the car. There. It's 2.7 meters long, which is hence comedy. The packaging on this is simply spectacular. Okay, what have we got here? This is a Smart Four Two Cabrio Premium Plus. Oh, don't go there. The name actually goes on further than that, but I mean, just crazy. Whoever thinks these things up, I don't know. But let's say that this is the 16 onward model, petrol. And what's significant there is that in around 18, Smart basically stopped selling petrol cars. And they've gone all electric. So you can buy this shape today, but it'll be electric. And they really have gone for the town car, city car thing, which is fine. What's a bit sad for me is that everyone sees these as city cars, which of course they are, but they're just fabulous fun going anywhere. I would drive this to Scotland or the south of France without thinking about it. It is that sensible, and that's the big difference between old Smarts and this new model that came out. Whereas the old Smart was full of charisma and things like that, it was awful. I mean, it was. You really had to be keen to like one of those. This one, though, is sort of sensible. And in pretty much any area you care to judge against other cars. And as a reference, our everyday sensible car is one of the latest VW Ups in a nice spec, nice engine, nice spec. It's not a million miles off a GTI. And that's considered to be one of, if not the best small car. This isn't embarrassed. In fact, I'd rather drive this. But however wacky the thing looks from the outside, I do quite like its looks, I have to say, overall. This is where it's at for me, the interior. This is Smart at its original best, with funky features and curves, and it's been really cleverly designed. I nearly said the design is very smart, but that might have been a bit crass. Where do we go? This steering wheel, for instance, I go over the top. It's not made in carbon, but the size is spot on. It really feels not too thick, not too thin, just right. No silly inlays of wood or sparkly sequins or whatever. Paddle shift, which we'll come to, is really big feature. This beautiful pod rev counter and clock, you just giggle at that, and it all twiddles around, and that matches in with these. That matches in with these vents, which are a real feature, and they really work. But they're so easy to use, so we like those. And the way this navigation pod comes out. I love the colours. I realise that's a personal thing, but this is what they're all about. It's just feel good, and as my good friend James says, this is the seaside model. So I just defy anyone to. This has to cheer you up. Loads of space, loads of headroom. Do not feel cramped at all in here. Just a happy place to be. Right, then which engine do you want? Well, most of these Smart 16 to 18 model years, petrol, as I say, with 3-cylinder engines, but the vast majority of them were 1 litre, 71 horsepower cars. And of course, if you have an ounce of enthusiasm in your blood, that's no good to man the beast. They're fine, they're lovely little cars. But you really want to go for either this 90 horsepower or Brabus. Quite a few, it gets confusing, quite a few Brabuses are 90 horsepower. There's a few, and I mean a real few, 109 horsepower Brabuses, and they're ideally the ones you want, but it's only a remap from this 90 horsepower one. Bear with me. Interestingly though, this 90 and the 109 go back to 900cc turboed. And that's very useful because if you can get hold of either, both are remappable to wherever you want, but sensible area is 120, 130, which makes a big difference. Now, as I go off with the fairies, although not quite, if I put one finger in that ear and dream a little, these things with the right exhaust and remapped start to sound like half a 911. And if you've ever experienced that, you'll know that that's a good sound. And as we all know, with the Scrambler and everything else, sound is everything. So, GT3 owners, fear not. But this thing, I'm grinning again. In the right spec and mucked about a little bit, not much, can be so much fun, it's not true. Happy days. Okay, so there you go. History lesson, specs and everything else. What spec is this one? Well, surprise, surprise, 90 horsepower. Twin clutch 6-speed gearbox. It's the Premium Plus proxy spec. Whoa. But then with tinsel on the top, it has the paddle shift. It has heated seats. It has the full sat nav. I'm mentioning these, I know they're sort of normal, but they're extras on a Smart. And when you go into the second-hand market, there are very few with that spec. And bear in mind, remember that you need the 90 horsepower, enthusiasm, 90 horsepower to, how can I say, play with it. Or the Brabus, of course. We then move into the realms of the unicorn when you mention the JBL sound system. Wow. Oh, I can tell now. But that's a proper pucker. I love music. And the sound system there, it is a proper little sound system with tweeters, a center speaker set up in the dash, a subwoofer, separate subwoofer in the boot. And that's, if you want to put anything in the boot now, it's not that bad. In fact, the boot is surprisingly big. The boot will surprise you that it's bigger than you think it is. Let's get this into perspective. Don't think I'll be putting my Great Danes in there. Although we did think it would be quite fun to have a vid of Hugo or Hannah sitting in the passenger seat. That would get internet fame instantly, wouldn't it? Well, we best not forget maybe the most important part of this thing, the cabrio, the roof, which just transforms it. So at the touch of a button, this guy appears. Well, the roof of this barn appears. And it goes back now to there, right, which is basically full. I mean, this is fantastic. And I can do this at any speed, well, pretty much any speed, motorway speeds, which is just terrific. And then another press of the button, and it does that. But there's more. Just there. Now you can take those out and throw them in the ditch. No, these fit in a panel in the boot. And then you've got the full cabrio experience. Now, as I keep mentioning, this is the Tarmac Trails car for me. That's how I think of it. I mean, it's a load of fun. I think I'll do quite a few miles in this. But mounting bikes, mounting cameras on bikes is a right pain. And the ride quality of most bikes isn't great. So from a photography, a video point of view, a motorbike isn't a great platform and causes all sorts of angst. And I just love photography and I love trying to get good shots, and it's not easy. A car is a much more stable platform, and so that's a good thing. But then it's not so easy to mount the cameras. However, Smarty has a killer feature in this roll bar. This would normally be trimmed, by the way. I've taken the trim off. And the reason I've taken the trim off is because my Manfrotto clamps, these are sturdy clamps, come on here and do that. And I can adjust that wherever. So there, I've got a GoPro or whatever I want. Well, it is GoPros that I use here. 600mm in the air. Now, I can mount several on here, one coming out the side, etc. The 360 camera, and boy, am I excited about that. And I'll do there's quite a bit about this system I'm quite excited about, but just to give you an idea, this looks good fun. Right, well, here is the Tarmac Trails team. We got the trusty rumbly scrambler and the slightly more sensible, well, I'm not sure it is more sensible, the Smart. And these are going to be the mainstays of discovering all these roads that I want to go and take you on this journey to beautiful places and oh, you know what I mean anyway. I've just opened up a new Tarmac Trails on Instagram, so there'll be stuff there. And while I'm on about plugging it, you might like to, if you like my photography work, you might like to follow my normal Farmer Talk Instagram, which is pretty pictures and and stuff. Right, hopefully this will be a load of fun. As always, let me know. Not too harshly, please. Driving vid on the Smart coming very soon, as soon as this gale stops. And thanks for watching. As usual, more vids coming along one day. Thanks for watching.
Woke up this morning with the sunrise in my eyes. Just like a new day, a breath of fresh air in my life. I don't know how, don't know why, but I'll be toasting all my life. in all my life. Oh, it's sweeter the first time around. Oh, it's sweeter the time here and now. Oh, it's sweeter the first time around. Oh, it's sweeter the time here and now.